We're going to begin with the devastating and deadly pair of earthquakes that rocked Venezuela. Take a live look at the search and rescue operations that are underway right now. Our Stephanie Ramos starts us off with the very latest. Good morning, Stephanie.
Michael, good morning. This morning, a disaster unfolding in Venezuela after two massive earthquakes struck just moments apart, shaking the capital city.
Overnight, urgent search and rescue in Venezuela. Two massive back-to-back earthquakes killing at least 164 people. A loud crash sending people scrambling for cover in videos circulating online. Seconds later, debris crashing down on the street below. Watch as violent shaking sends a section of the Caracas airport collapsing in a cloud of dust. Travelers scrambling to escape. Parts of the terminal left looking like a war zone. The airport now closed. Buildings across the capital city of Caracas leveled. Entire walls crumbled, exposing apartments and businesses to the street below. Emergency crews digging through the rubble, helping residents to safety. Officials saying more than 900 people are injured, some pulled out on stretchers and loaded into ambulances. The U.S. Geological Survey saying the two earthquakes were part of a severe seismic doublet sequence that hit the same part of the country's northern region less than a minute apart late Wednesday. The first tremor striking at 6:04 p.m., a 7.2 magnitude foreshock, followed just 39 seconds later by the second, even larger 7.5 magnitude quake. Officials say the earthquakes are among the strongest to strike Venezuela in more than a century. In the moments after the quakes, as plumes of smoke rose over the city, scenes of confusion and chaos, residents pouring out into the streets. One survivor saying the scene was like a horror movie, forced to climb over rubble to escape her building. With at least 20 aftershocks reported, officials are warning residents to stay outdoors and away from damaged structures.
Offers to help have been made by various governments, including the United States. Secretary of State Marco Rubio posting early this morning that the United States is immediately deploying search and rescue teams, medical resources, and humanitarian assistance to Venezuela. Robin.
They need so much help right now. All right, Stephanie, thank you so much. Now, the frightening moments for airline passengers, the pilot suffering a medical emergency, forcing the plane to be diverted. Faith Abube is at Newark Airport where the flight originated. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, Robin. What an unbelievable story. It wasn't long after that plane took off from this airport that one passenger tells us that it suddenly jerked. It was a violent jerk that pilot dragged to the floor, uncontrollably shaking. Now, the terrifying moment did not stop those passengers from jumping in to try to render aid and tie him down.
This morning, a terrifying mid-air scare after a pilot suffered a medical emergency with nearly 70 people on board a commercial flight from New Jersey to Canada.
Pilot is incapacitated. Aircraft is being flown by the co-pilot.
Air Canada Flight 7664 had just taken off from Newark Airport when the pilot suffered a medical episode. Rodney McDonald was on the plane and says there was a sudden jolt.
The plane started swerving violently. Within a few moments, one of the flight attendants entered the cockpit frantically, and a few moments later, he was dragging one of the pilots out of the cockpit.
McDonald says the pilot appeared out of control, convulsing on the floor.
It was a fairly strenuous 40 minutes of keeping him down and using as many seatbelts as we could to restrain his legs, arms, and chest.
According to Air Canada, the co-pilot quickly took control of the aircraft and was diverted to Boston, EMS attending to the pilot, wheeling him away from the plane and into an ambulance.
And what a harrowing moment for everybody on board. We are told that travel arrangements were made for passengers affected by this. However, at this time, we do not know the condition of that pilot who received medical treatment. Michael.
Yeah, Faith, we can only hope that he is okay. Thank you so much for that. We're going to turn now to President Trump clashing with Republican senators over the war with Iran and other issues during the closed door meeting on Capitol Hill, where the session got so tense a shouting match broke out. Chief, why White House correspondent Mary Bruce has the story. Good morning to you, Mary.
Good morning, Michael. And months of growing tension between the president and Republicans on the Hill really boiled over yesterday. Behind closed doors, the president berating Senate Republicans, even labeling one who pushed back a lunatic. But this morning, signs they're already falling back in line.
The motion is not agreed to.
Overnight, Senate Republicans reversing course to align with the president, rejecting a previous bipartisan rebuke of Trump's war powers. Two Republican senators, Bill Cassidy and Rand Paul, changing their votes. The about-face coming just hours after the president's meeting with Senate Republicans on Capitol Hill descended into a shouting match over the war in Iran. Trump furious, lashing out at several Republicans, including Cassidy, who previously voted to limit his war powers.
He asked, why would anybody vote for the War Powers Act? As he continued, I said, is that a rhetorical question, or would you like to really know? He said, I'd like to know. I stood and said, you have not told the American people what's going on.
Cassidy later acknowledging he lost his temper, but telling our Rachel Scott he doesn't regret what he said.
I'm not going to be bullied into silence when I'm sticking up for the American people.
But hours later, Cassidy changed his vote, saying after that shouting match, a meeting with Vice President J.D. Vance and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff at the White House addressed many of his concerns. Trump's Hill visit was off to a rocky start before he even got there. Just before arriving, Trump blindsided lawmakers, abruptly canceling plans to sign a major housing bill, a rare bipartisan cooperation on a key issue that is top of mind for voters, a bill Republicans had hoped to tout heading into the midterms.
We just passed something that we're all proud of, 85 votes in the Senate, 385 votes in the House, to make housing more available to Americans. We all need that. In red states and blue states, Trump blew it up.
Trump's own press secretary had hailed the bill as one of the most significant pieces of housing affordability legislation in American history. The stage set for the signing when Trump took to social media, dismissing the bill as an issue of minor importance, and announcing he won't sign it until Congress acts on his top priority, tough new voting restrictions, even though there isn't enough Republican support to pass it. The voting bill would mandate proof of citizenship to register to vote and greatly restrict mail-in voting, though instances of non-citizen voting and fraud involving mail-in ballots are both very rare. And later today, House Speaker Mike Johnson is expected to meet with the president here at the White House as Republicans still hold out hope that he'll sign this critical housing bill. Robin.
It is not a minor importance to many, many people. It could really help a lot of folks. All right, Mary, thank you. Now, the severe storms, flooding, red flag warnings for fire dangers. Sam, tracking it all?
Guys, think about it. Just states away from each other. There's flooding, rain, and thunderstorms, and then areas that are so dry that fires are just popping right now. So let's show you from some of the storms that happened yesterday. Walk to the wall with me a little bit. This is from Colorado. What you're going to see here is a lot of small hail, but we had some reports of almost baseball-size hail. So if you go 3 inches across, it's a small apple to baseball-size hail. That's really damaging. In motion, we'll show you how storms will go today. Some of these will hold together. Some of these will rebuild. So it's this area, Amarillo, Oklahoma, Tulsa, Wichita, that we're talking about with more damaging wind, large hail. This is our spot for the heavy rain. Above Wichita and Joplin, and Wichita, you just had some heavy rain on Sunday, some flooding rain there. There's so much available moisture. All you need is a storm to pop up and pull that down. We're going to get that in some of these areas. That's 2 to 6 inch rainfall totals from some of these storms. Watch how they just continue to move east here. Now, from the fires. This is nearly 60,000 acres, the Cottonwood fire. This is at 0% containment. We've got such a dry situation in all of these states. Look at this, all the way from Ely, from Salt Lake City, Richfield right there, all the way through this area, Cedar City. This is where these fires can really go. You've got an area that has been so dry, and just over here, that's where all the flooding rain is waiting. But we don't have anything here, so these fires will continue. Humidity is as low as 5%. Michael?
All right, Sam, thank you. And let's go overseas where Europe is dealing with an even more brutal heat wave. France once again making history with its hottest day ever recorded. Our chief international correspondent, James Longman, is in London where rare extreme heat warnings are also in effect. Good morning, James.
Hi, Michael. Yeah, I'm at Trafalgar Square, world famous, right in the center of London. The sun is beating down, and yet tourists are still visiting the sites. I mean, most of them are trying to keep in the shade. And I can tell you, these fountains, they've got signs saying no entry, but when it gets super hot later, people will be getting in these. But overnight in Europe, this heat wave got even more deadly.
Europe's deadly heat wave is not letting up, and this morning the Spanish health ministry says 212 people died from the heat between Sunday and Thursday alone, and that is just part of the picture so far. At least 100 million people across Europe will experience temperatures north of 95 degrees today. France again shattering records, reporting its hottest day ever as Paris hit 105 degrees. Spain and the UK on alert, Madrid reaching 107 and London 102. The heat dome has even caused power outages. One UK hospital declared a critical incident after cooling systems failed, and Europe's tourists are caught in the middle.
A lot of things got shut down, so it was really disappointing.
The Eiffel Tower and Louvre once again restricting hours.
It's not very convenient for people and not expected at all.
So many people who've traveled from around the world aren't getting to see the sights that Paris has to offer because of this heat wave, and it's dangerously hot.
Hundreds lining Paris canals and pools to escape the heat.
It looks like fun, but it is dangerous too. These waterways are unsupervised, and across France, at least 40 people have died drowning, trying to cool off in rivers and lakes.
And several people also drowned in Germany.
Now, the World Meteorological Organization says Europe is now heating twice as fast as the global average. Robin?
All right, James, our thanks to you for your reporting. I'm going to turn now to one Knicks fan who took her excitement over the team winning the title too far. Lara, I know you have that story for us.
Yes, Robin, I sure do. Good morning to you all. So the Knicks' run to the title electrified this city. Seemingly everyone getting on board, riding that wave of blue and orange. We saw a subway station painted in honor of the team. There were even trash cans painted in the team's colors, right, Sam?
Okay.
But you may not have seen this.
No.
It was a video of a woman who dumped out one of the trash cans during the championship parade. She poured the trash right on the sidewalk, then she just walked away with the can. The video's gone viral, viewed millions of times. The woman, now identified as an employee of JP Morgan Chase, the company says she no longer works for them and was not attending the parade in an official capacity. She was also fined by the Department of Sanitation for littering and impeding operations, a total of $175, the maximum allowed for first offenses. But there is a happy ending to the story. The trash can has been returned. And if you really want one of these, there's a way to do it.
Okay.
There are now replicas on sale, and they're less than $200. So the fine, $175, buy your own trash can, $200.
And you keep your job.
And keep your job.
And you keep your job.
Morgan. Yep.
Let's see if we can get Tori to get us a deal on some, and maybe that'll help.
Deals and steals, ironically.
Nice. Give it up, girl.
I love it. That was good.
That was good.
That was really good.
That was good.